Welcome friends! With this video I would like to mark a beginning of a new series, where we will take a look at Minecraft modpack called Enigmatica 2 Expert Extended. I sincerely believe that this is one of the best modpacks out there. It is extremely challenging yet intricately balanced and rewarding Minecraft modpack, and if you have never heard of this pack before, I would like to make a very brief introduction here. First, of course, Minecraft game itself. For those of you who do not know, Minecraft is a virtual sandbox with many implemented mechanics such as survival, building, crafting, and exploring, and each of them is very well fleshed out. So well in fact that the game is often cited as the best game of all time and has about 170 million unique monthly players as of August 2022. But for me personally, one of Minecraft's coolest features is how moddable the game is. When changing Minecraft to your liking, you have absolute control over most game mechanics. Would you like to add magical creatures to the game? Possible. Implement quality of life mods and industrial processing? Possible too. Are you bored with very bland looks of the vanilla game? Add shaders and textures to increase the immersion. Minecraft modding community is amazing. There are so many ideas, creations, maps and art that it would likely take weeks only to take full account of them. But there is more. And as in many modded games these days, you can cherry pick the mods you like, tune them and balance to fit well with each other, and you can get yourself a good mod pack. For example, if you would like to fully recreate Middle-earth with great storytelling, familiar characters, custom crafted maps and cities, along with bunch of mods to help you in your journey, you can do this with a simple click of a button, because of very creative, hardworking authors that make such things possible. And this is exactly what Niels Grøndahl has done when he introduced Enigmatica 2 to the public. This mod pack became very popular with about 950,000 downloads at the time of recording. It has about 250 mods, with all of them nicely merged together and bound by 800 quests, with a description of how to get into these mods if you are unfamiliar with them. Notably, this pack has also an expert version. In this version, you can experience a long-term sense of progression, as the mods are bound together through gates and recipe tweaks. So crafting often requires delving deep into many of the mods, exploring new dimensions or dungeons, slaying bosses, or creating giant contraptions. Enigmatica 2 Expert is more popular than the casual version of the pack, with 1.2 million total downloads, despite the fact that it takes much more serious dedication. This mod pack has an endgame goal for the most persistent, to craft a set of items usually only available in creative mode. There is already lots of content out there related to this great pack. If you search around YouTube, you can find great number of let's plays and reviews of this and many other mod packs by Niels. And because of this wealth of content, I will not talk about it too much, but I still would like to stress out how much great work Niels has put into Enigmatica series, and without him, the pack I will be talking about would not exist. This brings me to the main topic of this video and my recent discovery. While searching for a pack like Enigmatica 2 Expert to play, I have bumped into this brilliant pack called Enigmatica 2 Expert Extended. It has only 16,000 downloads on CurseForge at this point, but I think this hidden gem must have much more exposure. Reading about how much depth the author Krutoi242, also known as Lost Dragon 01, added into the work of Niels was one thing. But sometimes the anticipation of something extraordinary gets shattered by the actual experience. How many times have you been excited about the game trailer, but your excitement completely evaporated after a short gameplay? But with this pack, I experienced completely opposite. After a couple months of playing it, I liked it so much that I have decided to restart and share my experience with you. I have contacted the author of this extended pack, Mr. Krutoi, and asked him how this pack has came to be. Turns out Mr. Krutoi has fallen in love with Enigmatica 2 Expert pack just like me. However, unlike me, he was contributing quite a lot to the pack. He's the second largest contributor after Niels, and because of that knew it pretty well. His extended version has very humble beginnings. One day he realized that one single item, slime boots, can be easily crafted in very beginning and make game world traversal way too easy. Mr. Krutoi decided to fix that, got permission from Niels to make a modified version of the original pack, and 2,000 hours and 16,000 commits on GitHub later, we can all marvel at his creation, Enigmatica 2 Expert Extended. What makes it so special? In this pack, progression in one mod usually requires developments in several others, so you will often work in several directions at once. At the same time, there are usually multiple ways of crafting the same item, so it is up to you to choose the route to enjoy best. For many multi-step crafting trees, there are endgame shortcuts allowing you to reduce the tedious tasks. Compared to original Enigmatica pack, additional 200 mods are incorporated to make gameplay more varied, and the most cheesy ways to get OP things quickly are removed. But one of the main things that has drawn me in was the sense of exploration. With such a vast breadth of content, the exact solution to the problem is not obvious, so you have to search for it. I do not want to go into specifics of what tweaks Mr. Crutoy has added here, as on one hand the main ones are listed on the pack website, and on the other, smaller subtle changes are so numerous I cannot list them here. Instead, I will tell you a story from my first exploration of this pack. At some point I needed to craft Enderwing. As you can see from the recipe, Enderwing requires 3 feathers. But these are not just any feathers, they have to be peacock feathers. I have not seen a single peacock in that playthrough yet, but there is a recipe for the peacock egg that you can look up. It is crafted in advanced alchemical condenser, and it requires wine from rustic, ground turkey from Pam's Harvestcraft, mystical feather from mystical agriculture, feathery wing from rats, coagulated blood drop from tinkers, and heart dust, which you can get by grinding heart crystals, which are rare drops from blight mobs. So yeah, you can totally craft the peacock egg, but as you can see you have to look into 6 different mods in order to do so. Now let's take a look a couple layers deeper. How do you craft mystical feather, for example? In order to craft mystical feather, you would need a prosperity shard. Where do you get a prosperity shard? Well, your first option is to get them from other planets, but I cannot go there yet. Another option is to find it in the Twilight Forest. However, the probability of doing so is extremely low, and it might take a long time for me to find the prosperity ore there. Another option is take a shard of prosperity shard and then expire it in a blue fire. Where to get the blue fire? Well, you can craft yourself a Frostbringer, which is a staff, and if you cast this staff, then you can create a snow. And the snow next to the Ender portal in this pack turns into the blue fire. So now all you need to get is the shard itself. The shard itself you can get by sieving through the garbage piles, which give, among other things, prosperity shards. Where do you get a garbage pile? You can craft it from contaminated food. And contaminated food you can find deep down in the dungeons in a chest with a low chance. So yeah, you can totally craft the peacock egg. However, to do so, you have to discover and find all these recipes, and I'm sure some experienced players will figure out some shortcuts which I couldn't see. But for my peacock feather, I actually went a different route. At some point playing with Enigmatica mod, I have seen peacocks in jungles and swamps. And while exploring this mod pack in a quest, I have seen a description of a nature compass, which shows you directions for different biomes. When searching for a jungle, I couldn't find one. I then searched for the swamp and found one more than 5,000 meters away. After a very long journey, which lasted more than several weeks, I have reached the swamp. However, when I got there, peacocks were nowhere to be seen. But in my journey, I have found several nature cores from random things. And if we look through the mod description, it basically says that nature cores really help with spawning rare animals around them. So what I've done, I've placed these couple nature cores, and then I sped up the mob generation using time in a bottle. After a rather long wait, I was able to finally spawn one. And in this mod pack, you can actually carry the animals by shift right clicking them. So I was able to find some peacocks and bring them to my base. This particular story was never specifically intended by Modpack author. Instead, he has worked on his version of the pack for a long time and has poured his soul into it, designing beautiful puzzles for you to discover and solve in the way you like. Besides that, the author created a Discord channel with really awesome community and great discussions. His updates are very well summarized and he takes people's feedback seriously while still following his unique vision of this project. And although the pack is very much playable, you can check out the future plans for the pack in the to-do list on the GitHub page. You can see me in my base, which I have built while exploring this pack for the first time. And as I was building it, I realized that some of the things can be done better, and that I would like to restart and share my journey with you. But while I prepare for it, I urge you to check out the Enigmatica 2 Expert Extended pack. See the feature list for yourself, or perhaps download it and join its great Discord community. If you like Minecraft and challenging gameplay, trust me, you will like it. You will find all the links for the things I have talked about in the description, but for now, let me end it here, and I will see you very soon. Same place.